Where were we? Oh my god, it's been a while. Farewell, my... Oh, right. Yeah, this is the trial for the Nickel Samurai. That's right. Chassis is trash. You are not trash. You're just a butt. But you're not trash. Chalice90, hello. How are you, good boy? How are you? Good to see you. Oh my goodness. Forgot I had tea here. Luigi as well. Hello. How are you? I see you there too. Okay. Oh, right. So I think we took a break on the court that we brought the assistant in. That's where we got to. And now we need to prove that she was involved in the murder of a guy whose name I forget. One Corridor. That's it. My monthly bits are 182%, are they? I don't know, I can't even remember what I set the bit goal to be honest with you. Yeah, but you... You know what, that just means you just don't need to give me anything next month. That's fine, you're paid up for a while. Good. You've paid your protection money, you are safe. I mean, thanks. Yeah. That's it. Hitting that March goal at the last second, oh my god. Matt on guard, that's the name of the other guy. Yeah, I remember now. My husband, fix him. What? I'm fine the way I am. Because she's tried and she's failed, so I'm fine the way I am, clearly. Alright, let's get on with this. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. Prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. This was Adrian Andrews, that was her name. Ms. Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Corridor's room. I deserve the love, oh thank you. What is your occupation? She is Samus, Slayer of Metroids. I mean, she's also the manager manager of the defendant, in this case, Mr. Matt on guard. I like how she sat there with a book. What? I see. Now then, before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Times have gotten tough, I know, right? She has to have a second job. Yes, sure, what is it? I'm sure everyone in this court is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. Oh, we were just going to ask you where you put your armor when you're not using it, but okay. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. Ah, no, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland. Wow, I've got to play poker with you sometimes, Judge, because I will take you to the cleaners. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Yeah, no kidding. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relationship with the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Corridor. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. That card that she keeps playing with every now and then. We saw that earlier because if we remember, Maya has been taken hostage by a killer, a guy called The Killer, actually. And that card was something she found where she was being kept. There's something about this, and he wants us to solve this case in one day. Otherwise, and get a full acquittal for Matt on guard. Pulsar! Hey dude, how's it going? I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan, but this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter? Or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. Explain why Matt is held in court again? You know, you can't keep me out of trouble. It's all a big conspiracy. Need to lurk and work on email and call parents, send help. Good luck, Chassis. Thank you again for the bits and those. That was awesome. No one is accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. Yes, I would. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Ms. Andrews. Very well then, witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. Another day of weird classes via Teams done. When I found the body, testimony. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was naturally the exact scene in the crime scene photo, including the glass that she put there. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. That seems a really weird reaction. Found the dead body, must have tomato juice. You poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, sadly I didn't remember not touching things at the scene of a crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And what is it? And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Visible confusion. Chalice! You're giving King Pulsar a sub now. Wow, thank you. Oh, I think I know what Erica is asking. It's because the actual defendant is called Matt On Guard. So yeah, we share the same name but different spelling. So he's the defendant. Yeah, he was accused of killing the dude, Juan Corridor. So this is the Matt On Guard. Yeah, so they thought he did it because Ms. Oldbag saw him, but wearing the Nickel Samurai outfit, and also there was a piece of this guy's like costume button in the outfit. That's why they arrested him. But yeah, thank you very much for those gift subs, man. That's awesome. Much appreciated. We're getting closer to another news emote, if that carries on. My goodness. I'll have to see how close we are to one. Banzai. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix. Oh yeah, I forgot. Mia's with us in Pearl's body. She's one cool and collected customer. She has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? Oh god, game, what are you doing to me now? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over, understand? Oh my god, this is going to be some new mechanic, isn't it? Alright, well, until I know what exactly it means, I'm just going to save it for no reason at all. Yeah. Time for the show to start. I went to get Matt from his room. What happens if we just question that? Is it going to goof us up a little bit? Because we've encountered this now where it doesn't want you questioning everything, you just have to question the relevant things. And what was Mr. On Guard doing at the time? He was taking a nap, which is what he's told us. In fact, yeah. He was worn out from his mini performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Press all the statements. We'll give it a try. Mr. On Guard did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have he could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you... Right, I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Alright, Edgeworth. Did you, Miss A. Andrews, remove Mr. On Guard's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object, right. Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. Damn, Edgeworth getting all snooty. Watching the stream on Chrome instead of Opera, and it's much faster for you. Really? I've never used Opera, so I don't know what the difference is. After that, I went to Juan's room. And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? And look how many people we've got in that battle royale as well. Holy goodness. Best of luck to you all. So the shadow was supposed to be a show, or the show was supposed to be a show of friendship. But, it wasn't though, because they were also in a relationship. She's just admitted that. I'm going to press further. Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim? Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room? And there was his dead body. I was in shock. Hold it. You were in shock? What? Hey, Sam, you won the Battle Royale, dude. Nice. So you're not rigged? What, was I not supposed to be? Andrews is a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had a romantic feeling for Mr. Corridor. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock, and you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Edgeworth, ugly people can be shocked too, okay? Don't get discriminatory. Somehow I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. There we go, see? Phoenix gets it. I see. Should I sing Beauty and the Beast or Into the Unknown? I don't know either of those two, so I have no preference. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. Which is obviously, you know, what she's not seen. That's a very weird way of saying it. Oh, I saw the exact same thing as the crime scene photo. But really, please explain what that was then. I bet she can't. Edgeworth being smooth, yeah. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then what did you do next, witness? Poured herself a glass of juice. Why would you do that? So you were in shock, but you weren't shocked enough to go grab some tomato juice. Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? It's a full glass. There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Ms. Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Corridor, you were in great shock, and that's when you poured yourself a glass of juice, correct? What of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank. I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. Okay. We'll leave it alone then, obviously. No, press further. Ms. Andrews, I'm convinced that as you said you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. Yeah, big deal. It's like, oh, I forgot to mention something, but that's fine. It's not like this is a murder trial or anything, you know. He died from a knife tip, really? He, probably did, yes. No, he was strangled though, wasn't he? He was strangled by his scarf and then he was stabbed. I remember now. That should be in the autopsy report. Let's double check that. And that, you know, yeah. Cause strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. And the fact that Celeste Impact, which is Ms. Andrews' old mentor, had committed suicide by hanging herself. Very... I know that stands out to me. He was strangled, and she hanged herself. And then Adrian Andrews tried to do the same thing to herself. So yeah, that's very weird to me. But the knife was just after the fact, to try to cover up the real cause of death. I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, here it goes. I bet she's going to say, I broke that vase. I knocked that vase over. But she's already said that the guitar case was open and empty when she came into the room. This is where we're going to get her. This is where we're going to get her. Just the very tip which confuses me. How did he die from it? Yeah, well, like I said, it was done after the fact, so... I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Yeah, get her good. Yeah, boss, get her. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime scene photo? But we know the water isn't inside the case, it's only on the outside. This mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser. When I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. Well, we know the crime scene was full of teddy bears. That was weird. I wouldn't sleep in a room like that. Hell no. One's fine, but a whole room of dead eyes staring at you while you sleep? No. Yeah, sweat bubbles. Looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. Edgeworth is already like, Alright, so let's just see. Poured herself a glass of juice. Was the one who knocked the vase over and it fell on the case. So my guess is we're going to have to object with something. The guitar case says empty, there's some water but only on top of the lid and bears Corridor's fingerprints. But we know that the Nickel Samurai... do we have that photo? Was wearing gloves. We also know that he's too short. We already pointed that one out with the length of the trouser legs versus the poster, wherever the heck that is. So yeah. Alright, let's question it first. Let's see where we go. What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take one's pulse, so I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser, and that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself. That's what she would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality. When you get all zen on me, Mia. It doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now. I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to keep on the offensive and not let up. The only way you're going to catch her was with some very strong, decisive evidence. Find something. Now. So, I don't know which one of these we have to object to. It's got to be the new one, right? Battle Royale is yours even when you lurk. I don't know, when you lurk I kind of feel like I'd take it. You know, I'd be a strong contender. So yeah, we probably object to that. With the guitar case, I want to say? I don't know. We're kind of shooting. I know what I need to point out. I need to point out the fact that she said earlier her guitar case was already open, But now she's saying she knocked over the vase after she got to the room. And we know the guitar case wasn't wet on the inside. So I'm guessing we used the guitar case with this statement. Yeah, I mean, we're on the right track. It's just knowing which two things to smash together and say, look at this! Boosh! You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem, it's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what's so strange. Ms. Andrews, you testified the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten water on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there is one other strange thing about this guitar case. What is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what's wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, there'd be pieces in it as well. The glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Ah. What's your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time and the vase was knocked over? Is that all? The fact that it's open afterwards. Now think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Urgh. Yeah, the judge is an idiot. He's just ready to say, oh, guilty then, every single time. We have to really just force him to see it. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case, and it was open. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. And so, she didn't know it was at the studio, did she? She was maybe trying to steal it. That may very well be, however... It shows that she's lying. It seems there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the case? Yes, because it now raises the question, why did she open the guitar case? And why didn't she tell us about it? The empty guitar case, I believe, is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Huh. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you. Thank you. I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright. I'll follow along for now. Ms. Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honour. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, I don't even know. The case was empty after all. Looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Yeah, anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using anyway to change the topic, a convenient escape for a weak man. Shut up, Edgeworth. You suck. Don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see... Are you sure you are the one who opened the guitar case? There's no fingerprints on it apart from... That's a good point, actually, because her fingerprints are on the glass, but her fingerprints are not on the guitar case. In fact, only the the victim's fingerprints are on the case, which means somebody opened it with gloves. That shows intent, right? Should have let Edgeworth hang. We should have done it. It's like, dude, I saved your life. I'm beginning to regret that. she's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. I must have opened it after I knocked the vase over. Because, yeah, look. There is some water only on the top of the lid. Bears Corridor's fingerprints. But only his fingerprints, I believe. Found next to the victim, filled with tomato juice, bears Andrew's fingerprint. So she was there without gloves, with the glass, but she then opened this with gloves? Where did she get the gloves? And that only has On Guard's fingerprints on it. Again, the costume has gloves, and we know someone wearing the costume went into the room during the window of the murder, came back out again. So you opened the guitar case then? Yes, well, maybe. Well, maybe. What? Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Corridor's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case. As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, he was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic. Not a big deal though the case was empty. How would she have known that ahead of time? I guess she didn't. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case the guitar was still inside. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. And she doesn't even know why she opened the case. Okay. That was because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix, we can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with. We have a knife. It's evidence, but I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record waiting to be found. Alright, so check everything. It's going to be the guitar case again, isn't it? Because there's only Corridor's fingerprints on it. It's the only thing relevant. Either that or the glass. There is no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Or there is, just not as, you know, as she's described. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear Watson. I mean, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on the case are those of the victim. Ah. So now she's going to say, oh, I put gloves on first. What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? Ah, there we go. What if I were to tell you I was wearing gloves at the time? So why did you leave fingerprints on the glass? Gloves, but why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the awards ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. That's strange. Smack her with some juicy evidence. Yeah. Yes. We're gonna do that. You were wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Vlodril with the host. How are we doing, Vlodril? Nice to see ya. Welcome everybody from Vlodril's stream. You guys probably know me by now. I'm Iron Wolf, and we're playing Ace Attorney Justice for All. We're on the 4th case, I want to say, or the 5th. I can't even remember. It's been a week since I last streamed. Thank you very much for doing that shout out, sweetheart. But yeah, we're playing Ace Attorney, so welcome, guys. Sit down and have fun. We're about to prove this lady a liar. It is the 4th. Thank you, Erica. Yes, we're on the 4th. I thought it was. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I'm counting or if I'm not counting the prelude case, you know, the tutorial one. Technically, it's still the first case. Alright, so she says she was wearing gloves when she opened the guitar case, but she did say that she was the one who handled this wine glass. This has her fingerprints on it. So it's weird. The host button disappeared. Weird. Yeah, the new dashboard's a little bit rubbish. How are you anyway, buddy? What were you playing today? Take that! I have your proof right here, this wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. This is why you're here. You know, you got subpoenaed to court because of this. Baldur's Gate. Oh, brilliant. Yes, I remember you were playing that a while back. Are you still enjoying it? It's gonna take months. Yeah. Oh, yes. Those games do. Classic CRPG types. You can lose large spans of time in those games, but as long as you're having fun doing it, that's the main thing. You left your fingerprints very clearly on the wine glass. Ah, yes. If you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open a guitar case? It is a bit weird. Oh god. Ah! No! Like her glasses just flew off and then she's like, whoops, put those back on. Order! 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 150 hours or more? Ooh, wow. Goodness me. Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. I'm gonna grab some dinner, no problem, King Pulsar. What do you mean? I believe the guitar case plays a very important role here, but it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty though. But the guitar, Bright Red guitar, was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. Yeah, what else was in the case? That's the thing. There could have been something else in the guitar case that she was trying to get. It's like if the guy left his signature guitar back at the studio when he came to this event at the hotel, why on earth would he do that? Because it's his signature thing. He would make sure it's there, right? He needed the case to bring something else to the actual hotel. Desperado music kicks in. Yes. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. Don't mean it was a bright white guitar? No. God damn it, Phoenix. Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that, so the witness was not wearing gloves despite the fact on the case. Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work that has always proven correct, Edgeworth, so shut up. Sit down, boy. Watch me work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us into his misguided objection! Shut your mouth. No, Your Honor. Please recall that Ms. Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it's wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has a relation to the murder. If you're so sure, Wright, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim. Outrageous claim, correct? Yes, I can. That's exactly why I'm saving the game right now, because every time you say that, I don't worry at all. Please enlighten us as to why the guitar case has anything to do with this murder. Ooh. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, oh boy, oh geez. Let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not the only thing? You don't mean to suggest a bright black guitar? So you intend to push your theories that the case was not empty, is that right? Right, Edgeworth. I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. I proved your innocence. Shut your mouth. Now then, let's have it. What was inside the case at the time of the murder? This walkie-talkie. No, that's not right. Lotta's camera. No. And what do we have? Pearl. She was in the case. Oh my god, no. That's not right. Celeste's ashes. No, that's way too dark. He probably put, though, maybe he stored, because the thing is, her suicide note was hidden, okay? Celeste Impax's suicide note was missing. And people think Juan Corrida, who, you know, she was his manager at the time, and she hasn't had a manager since, very telling, had actually hidden the suicide note. And she wanted to know what was in it. I mean, Adrian Andrews attempted to commit suicide sometime after Celeste Impax died because of her dependency on her. You know, she was lost without her. So maybe she was looking for evidence of the suicide note. Maybe he always kept it in his guitar case as, like, I don't know, a safe keep. That's very thin though, but it's got to tie in with her motive as to why she hooked up with him in the first place. She wanted to get close to him to find out about this the suicide. We know that much. But it could have still been Lotta's camera. No. Probably not. Maybe he brought all the posters for the Nickel Samurai. That makes no sense, Matt. What are you talking about? Didn't Oldbag have Lotta's camera? So you're saying Oldbag did it and then took the camera. Interesting. No, that's not what you're saying. Yeah, she did. She had Lotta's camera, that's right. She was like, she thought that she had, like, because Lotta had written some notes and stuffed them into her camera thing, and it was just a fake story that she was going to run about the whole scandal. And of course Oldbag wanted to see if it was true. Would I like a hint? No, I think I'm okay. I'm just gonna try. That's not it. No. Why would something like that be inside of a guitar case, let alone this one? Why, Mr. Wright? Why? Why? I just thought it might have been possible. But Phoenix then realised it wasn't and didn't say a word of that to the judge. He just, you know, blacked out. Came back and said, oh, hang on, we're still here. That was all a horrible dream. I suppose for a second the bright red guitar case was not the only thing in. You mean a black guitar case? No. Blah, 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 blah. Was in the case. What is this? The magazine clipping article from the tabloid Gossipland. He wouldn't have something like that in his case. What is interesting, though? Okay, so we know that it's very unlikely that Adrian Andrews was able to undress Matt Onguard and get into the costume, then dress him again without waking him up. What if there was another costume in the case? And she went in, but then she came out as the Nickel Samurai wearing the costume. No, because she wouldn't have been able to open the case without getting fingerprints on it. That doesn't work. Really? That's a thumbs up. Am I on the right track? Apparently, this is going to be interesting. Because that has been bugging me for a while. It's been like, okay, because I haven't really voiced it, but it has bugged me especially since we came back to this, because it just stuck in my mind like, okay, yeah, he was asleep. And she admits that. She even says he was asleep. If anything, she's alibied him out. And therefore, he was in his costume. He told us that. So how did she get the costume? And for that matter of fact, why does he have a spare Nickel Samurai costume? This is a photograph. It is. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes it is a photograph. Now laugh. Yes, but what is important is that what is in the picture, Your Honor? Oh boy. Look, I've got to get that in at least once per, Ace Attorney stream. In this picture, it doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm prognosing is, inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? Yanni? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Ms. Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Ms. Andrews? See, the thing is, they're both from different studios, but if she has a relationship with him, she could have had access to this case and swapped out the guitar for the Nickel. I keep wanting to say Steel Samurai, the Nickel Samurai outfit in preparation for this. So it's very weird. Maybe she did still wear gloves. I mean, she would have had to wear proper gloves, I guess, to not get fingerprints on the knife. She intentionally left her fingerprints on the tomato juice glass just so she could talk away this whole thing, because she knows there's this whole scandal, and that if she has to explain why she was in the room, she could do that. But then she wore the gloves when she opened the case again because she didn't want to get fingerprints on them. She would have been better off just closing the case afterwards, and being like, okay, she slipped up a little bit. I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? And she did say she saw Adrian Andrews go in. And I think Oldbag did as well. Order! Order! Looks like we've wandered into another, quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Thanks! Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. I like this. So the real murderer was hiding inside of a costume. Oh, wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt Ongard's. Yeah, but they have multiple costumes. Why would something of the defendants be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places? True, this is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was the Nickel Samurai costume doing inside of the guitar case? It was a spare, of course. Mr. Ongard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, this costume we are talking about was a spare one. What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? I know, right? And the universe did not implode. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. That is a little weird because he would have opened his guitar case to find out that it wasn't there but there was a costume inside of it. Why didn't he just dump it out onto the floor or something? He'd have been thoroughly confused, right? But why? The victim, Mr. Corridor, was the jamming ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. I was hoping you wouldn't ask that question, Judge, damn you. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? I love those jabbity eyes that he's like, just scrambling around inside his head like caged gerbils every time he gets angry. Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Yes. No, we're talking it out right now. We're thinking it through. Chill out. Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume? He was going to kill Matt Ongard and take his place. Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. Then answer with gusto. I believe in you. I believe in my power to save the game, so thank you for that. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was... Oh. Boy. Ooh, boy. Because this magazine clipping has been in circulation for a while now, and he was trying to spare her from the scandal if they'd be seen together. Because she would think it was Matt Ongard, but they could spend time together. Oh my god, that's so sweet. Maybe. I mean, it's sweet, but she was a psycho murderer, so it's not very sweet. Yet reliable sources say that one corridor has been getting in close with the mysterious yet beautiful manager to the stars, Ms. A.A. So he probably brings the costume with him now so that they can be together without it raising eyebrows. Phoenix, what are you doing? Are you crazy? I presented the evidence with gusto, like you said. Told you to present it with gusto, yes. But I seem to recall the sentence before that was think carefully. Oop. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? Sorry, what? What's that? I'm sorry, I was daydreaming. I was thinking, you know, that there would be a horrible way to do it. Oh yeah, I save scum. Hell yes. Alright, so... Oh, hang on. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something after the post-ceremony stage show. But Matt Ongard knew nothing about it. What if this was some kind of attempt at an engagement? and he was going to step out as the Nickel Samurai first, but then take the costume off and be like, "Surprise! It's me! I'm only joking." This was a surprise for her, and when he was going to propose to her. Thing is, it's so weird that she would have had to know that costume was there, right? So she would have had to be in on that as well. Maybe they were going to do it as a joke together. But he was the one who was going to do this. Because Matt Ongard still had no idea this was going to happen even minutes before, when all the shit kicked off, and that post stage show ceremony was going to be happening. He still didn't know. Why am I so damn romantic today? I don't know. There's something in the air. So... alright. This is what I think. What's this? On the night of the murder after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. See, we all thought it was drugs, right? And it was drugs. It was the drug of love. Oh yeah. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up right. What do you mean, for once? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Ongard himself said he had no idea what he was supposed to be holding a press conference for that night. But how can that be? Precisely. This has been one of the mysteries that's been surrounding this case. The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Corrida was going to hold a press conference as the Nickel Samurai. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference, but why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. By confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Corrida, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt Ongard. Interesting. This isn't the way I thought it was going, but okay. Yes, I guess that's what it would mean. So they were trying to set him up for something. They were going to tell us about his drug habit. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's a public disclosure. Miss Andrews? I can see why you're pros at what you do. Pardon me? Well, I mean, the judge isn't. He's not a pro. Don't give him any credit. Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by one. She knows about it. Ms. Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. So she did know about it. So this wasn't a romantic thing. Damn. Why couldn't love be the answer? One had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure that Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought, anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow one had his hands, had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? So maybe I mean, the motive is now changing a little bit. Maybe she killed him to prevent that from happening, because she's devoted to her job, right? And you know what the secret of Mr. Ongard's is, Ms. Andrews? That's something only one knew. I don't know what it is. I see. Doubt that very much. Yeah, shock. Yeah, he's actually 56. He stays looking so young by drinking virgin's blood every night. Yeah. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everybody. No, you haven't. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. Protect Mr. On Guard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Ms. Andrews, if you could please tell us the truth about your behaviour. You don't say. Yeah. It's like, really? You? Suspicious? No. Yes, Your Honour, I understand. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill one no matter what. He wouldn't have even known about it. The guy's a complete airhead. He wouldn't have known about it unless it came through on his little wrist communicator thing telling him everything he needs to know. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him. This does account for everything. What? Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. He had a feeling the moment it happened. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. Wow, savage. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need three things. Three things. A motive, opportunity to commit a crime, and finally decisive evidence. And if you think these three things through, the answer comes quite clear. You should already have known that, Phoenix. Yes, you are a lawyer. They didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. You went to a shit school then. May I continue now? I'm assuming he means law school, by the way. Matt had to kill one no matter what. So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why one chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt On Guard. And you knew of this plan, did you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the conference? Yeah, sure, yeah. Anyway, he's like, well, oh, look at that shiny thing. The important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony. I agree, Miss Andrews. Please correct your testimony, if you please. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? So let's go back. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling. I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove that I'm right. Didn't have an alibi. Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Corridor with the press conference, and that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped. Yeah, this is the thing that doesn't really match. It's like, why would you even be going along with this if you're trying to protect him now? The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, Mr. Wright. What the witness was thinking helping the victim with his plan is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Why don't I just jump over this bench and smack Edgeworth in the face? Or next time he comes up on a murder charge, just not help him? He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. Sleeping. Didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie, so you covered for Mr. On Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws in what Ms. Andrews has said so far. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however. The judge is glaring straight at Mia. Yeah, that's exactly who he's looking at, Phoenix, not you. Glaring at you, smart guy. Again, she can read minds. That's weird. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, that button and the knife. How would she know about the button being in his costume? The knife maybe, but the button? You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought, and during that fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jamming Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the pleats of Matt's Hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix the testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Neither can Mia by the look of that face. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Alright. Ms. Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. He didn't have an alibi. Alright, so we've changed this one too. That button was torn off of one during the fight with Matt. I mean, that is what the evidence says. I mean, it looks more to me like where the stab is what may have dislodged it. Let's question it anyway. And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads on the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly, or so I heard. I've heard that before too. How would Ms. Andrews know about this case down to such fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you're not. Ah. And I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her upon, it has to be here, but where and what? Hold it! But I'm Matt's manager, I had to protect him. But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. On Guard at any time. Why then would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Corridor planned such an elaborate conference. Ms. Andrews wanted to cause Mr. On Guard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright wax philosophical power hour. That's a tongue tire. And please stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Ms. Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if we can press a little more. You should know this by now, that you need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief. I'm going to pin you down this time, Ms. Andrews. Alright, so now we've gone through all that. I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove that I'm right. Didn't have an alibi. Button was torn off. I think it's probably going to be this one. That says was ripped from the costume. I was kind of hoping it would say it was cut off. We do know the autopsy report says he was strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. But she's not talking about the method of kill. So we can either challenge on the whole she's not sure about the motive but needs proof, or it's going to be the button. Those are the two things we've managed to change. So tired and comfy? Yeah. Nah, I'm pretty tired myself today. I did not sleep very well last night. I had that sort of like, where you feel like you haven't actually fallen asleep but you know you have. Because I kept waking up, but I didn't sleep long enough to really dream anything. So it just felt like I was laying there all night, not actually asleep. Very weird. I mean, we know they were on bad terms with each other anyway, because they were constantly rivalry with each other, right? Did we have any evidence that pointed to the rivalry as well? I don't think there was there? I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. Well, we don't want to do that for her, do we? That would be stupid. Let's try pressing these again, and just see what she says one more time. There might be some clues. Has Mr. Angard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Corridor with the press conference, and that event was supposed to bring down Mr. Angard, yet you still helped out. And Edgeworth jumps in. The person on trial now is not Mr. Angard. What the witness was thinking, helping with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means the defendant had a motive to kill. So is there anything we've got that shows that they both had a problem with each other? That doesn't even mention Matt and has nothing to do with it. So, don't have anything to point to that, or any kind of problem they've had with each other. In fact, he likes her. He likes everybody. He's just a bit of an airhead. Didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. That can be picked apart, still true. We don't have anything solid to tear that down. The button was torn off of one during his fight with Matt. How do you know it was torn off? The ends of the threads on the button of the costume matched up, found to fit together perfectly, or so she had heard. How would she have known all that? If there's anything to trip her upon, it has to be here, but where and what? See, there's also blood there as well. It's where the knife went in. But we know that the knife was done after he was dead. He was strangled with the scarf first. That button had to be on his outfit during the stabbing, right? But there would be no fight during the stabbing because he was already dead. I think we've got it. Question is now, how do we show this to the court? What do I present? Ripped from his costume, covered in blood, strangled with a scarf. I don't know which one of these we need to use. It's going to be one of these two. Let me just save it and do it for science. Alright, so we will present the button. Nope, that's bullshit. That doesn't work. I said it was for science. So what about this? It's the autopsy report. Okay, they do link together. It's just one of them works and one of them doesn't. This is the victim's autopsy report. Look at this autopsy report. No, that doesn't work. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by scarf. Strangulation. The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Here we go, there we go. Now he's pointing at the same thing. Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean it was ripped off the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly, which means it's impossible this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle. The victim was strangled to death in the fight. Ah! Yes! That's right, Miss Andrews. There is no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body. Dead and cooling. Oh, like that. What's the meaning of this right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did it serve? What purpose? We know this button was not torn off during the fight. So, the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that had the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? Well, he obviously wanted to pin it on guard. I mean, why would, if he did do it, why would he then rip the button off and then just go, I'll just, you know, wedge this into my costumes for people to find later? There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on guard. Yep. There's no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. I certainly would. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up by the real killer, of course. That woman there. Not Samus. And the real murderer is? I just told you, not Samus. Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? Old Bag or Lotta Hart. Sheep, they could have done it as well. They're still on my suspect list. Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On-Guard, is... I mean... Or it's Celeste, she's not dead. Oh, this is going to be another one of those cases where it's like, Adrian Andrews is Celeste. But I mean, we already tried to push this theory and we've got no reason to believe otherwise. Ms. Adrian Andrews, I choose you. You are Mr. Corridor's killer. What? Ah! And again her glasses exploded. Order! Order! Mr. Wright! This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? We just went through it all earlier. Where the fuck were you? Any evidence? All the evidence points to Ms. Andrews. All of it. How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On-Guard naturally, same as the button. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room, and the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you, which we talked about last time we streamed. There go the glasses again, and she has another pair. Tisk. Then, what? What about the button that was found on Matt's Hakama? Were you even paying attention? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found the body or the killer. However, if Mr. On-Guard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. Oh, smash! There go the glasses again. How many pairs of glasses? I need a rip meter for her glasses. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On-Guard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap, which is yet again you, Ms. Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? God, didn't we already go over this? There's also another piece of evidence that incriminates Ms. Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case, and it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. I guess she could have done. She could have used one of the little stuffy bears as well and used its little paws to open the clips. That's so cute in my head, I like it. She has a ton of spares, exactly. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Ms. Andrews purposely left her prints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, it was the classic dazed discovery of a dead body. Ah, smash! There go the glasses. That's like 5 pairs she's lost now. And to top it all off, there is the photo. Height-wise. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On-Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Ms. Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please stop. I will not. Well, how about it, Ms. Andrews? I've got her this time. Miss Andrews, here comes the freak out. I refuse to testify. Well, it's off to jail with you for contempt of court, then. What's that? There's a lawyer. It says I can't, oh, there's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Which is to say that what you would testify would incriminate you. So well done, you just proved your own guilt. Dang it, Adrian. Yeah. Well, yes, you are absolutely correct, Ms. Andrews. The law provides us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. I mean, that is actually true. There is such a law, I think. I wonder who taught her about that law. Yeah, probably Edgeworth. Yeah. Oh yeah, Frenzy. She probably did it. But she's not been involved in this case, has she? She got booted out pretty much right at the beginning. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Onguard's room. Yeah, that's right, she was at the beginning. She was still around at the beginning. She did all the legwork and then she got told to piss off and Edgeworth took over. Adrian Andrews. Yes. Think hard about what we just discussed. Ugh, shit, that whip. Even in the flashbacks it hurts. Think hard about what we just discussed, understood? Alright. She got shot, yeah. Oh, that's right, she did get shot. I forgot all about that. She did get shot. She's shot in the shoulder, wasn't she? Edgeworth hired an assassin to go and shoot her, or it might have been the killer. I forgot all about it. I just didn't give a shit, to be honest. I laughed and then I forgot about it. I was like, ah, alright. File that away and don't give a damn. That's it. That's when Franziska planted the idea in her head. She must have told Ms. Andrews not to testify if things looked bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix, but there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done? What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? What's so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realise this as well, Your Honour. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? But please teach me about law, Edgeworth. Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to prove a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Ms. Andrews did in fact harbour a wish to murder Mr. Corridor. But this is stuff that Edgeworth gave us. He's setting this up for us, and we've got to knock it down. Ms. Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Corridor? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But Ms. Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove in either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Ms. Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defence's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess. Recess. I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. Oh no, at tomorrow's trial? No. No, this can't happen. We don't have a tomorrow. There will be no tomorrows. Never again. Not for Maya, anyway. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honour. That's not necessary. The trial? Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth. I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If you don't, If I don't get the verdict, then Maya. Yeah, because he doesn't really know about this, does he? But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... Oh! Damn, Edgeworth got it. We did the whole, like, look me in the eye, bro. I'm beaming this information right to you right now. Maya's gonna die. It is not possible for this trial to continue. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true, Ms. Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation was something unrelated to whatever she might be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that's very true, but actually there's one little thing I'm curious about. Ms. Andrews, when you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and... I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Finally, he's on the same page as us. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. Shaken, not stirred. Haha. Yeah. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Testify. Your Honor, I would like to request the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. Like, just keep it going, keep the train rolling. Yes. I don't know what it's about, what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Ms. Andrews, if you please. Stretch this out a little bit more. That glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked in the room and saw it in a messy state. And one, he was just sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. See, this is totally different from what she said earlier. Earlier, she literally was like, I saw him and he was dead, and then I was so shocked at his death I poured myself a glass of juice. Now she's changing the order of events. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. Bollocks. To be honest, I thought he'd just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realised that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. So you poured the glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. No, but you literally said a completely different story to that. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, there's nothing left. I know. Thanks, Mom. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. May I ask, who likes tomato juice besides Sans? I know, tomato juice is just gross. Alright, didn't pour it for herself. Adrian didn't notice the glaring, obvious thing, yeah. There wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then, who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there is a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you just wait a little longer for it to be revealed, can't you? In other words, Mr. Wright, be quiet and listen. Oh, damn! Precisely, I could not have said it better myself. I was surprised when I walked in the room and saw it in a messy state. So, it was in a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of the fight with Mr. Corridor? I understand your frustrations at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then what did you see, next witness? One sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. With a knife in his chest, you mean? Slumped over. Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward and eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? Yeah, it probably does. Let's have a look at the murder photo. I mean, he is slumped over. But how would she not even notice the knife in his chest? Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a minute. Well, I'll go back over that one again just to confirm something, but I'm going to question everything else first. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought was that he was dead didn't cross my mind. What did cross your mind? I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he'd lost the Grand Prix, and then felt tired after his rampage and decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all? Thought he had fainted and poured him some juice. You thought he fainted. I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state, I thought maybe he'd gotten into a fight with someone. That's literally the opposite of what you just said. You thought a lot of things. And that's when you went to pour the glass of juice? Yes, he always had a hard time waking up. So, Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. I see. After that, what happened next? When I realised he was dead, that's when I knocked the vase over. And how did you come to realise that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked. I staggered backwards and knocked the flower vase over, so that's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to, huh? This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now's our best chance to kill the prosecution's case. Isn't that a bit harsh, Ms. Andrews? Will you tell us the truth this time? Alright, so... I think it was this one. I'm just going to read this, slumped over. Sitting there, head tilted forward, eyes closed. And a knife sticking in his chest with blood everywhere, but alright. So he is sitting there, slumped forward, eyes closed. I wanted to double check if she said eyes open, because they're not, they're closed. But I mean, still, the frigging knife in the chest, come on. It's a golden knife, it's kind of obvious. It's a garish murder weapon, which wasn't really the murder weapon, but how would she not immediately notice that and think, he's been stabbed? He really looked like he was sleeping. So the fact that Phoenix is suspicious makes me think this is the thing to press. So the only thing I can think to do is do it with the photo. Nah, that's not it. Okay, not it. I looked a bit and found out that VR chat is 18 plus. Yes, it is, because it's full of all kinds of potentially, shall we say, scantily clad avatars. So we're sitting there slumped over. Thought he was dead, didn't cross her mind. I wonder if maybe we do this with the knife. A bunch of doggy shits go down in there. Yeah. And get a little weird. From what I understand. I've never done it because I don't own VR, but yeah. Let's try with this. Oh my god, that's not it either. Came back from a stream wanting to give birth. What? So tainted? Oh. When I saw him sitting like that, I thought he was dead, didn't cross my mind. Maybe it's this one then that we have to object with. Yeah, okay, so it's this one. The next one on from that. You honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. So I had the right idea, just on the wrong sentence. That should have worked on either one, in my opinion. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. A golden knife sticking... Ah! What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Corridor's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought here was a dead man. Here be death. Eriador! Hey dude, how's it going? I'm doing good, thank you very much. How about you? Are you well and safe and happy and everything good in your end of the world? Long story short, a streamer his VTuber wanted to pregnant all the dinosaurs and it's a girl. What? Yeah, VR chat's weird. That's about as much exposure to VR chat as I need for the rest of the day, thank you. Yeah, Eriador, good to see you, my friend. How's life? Safe, still working at fixing electricity for everybody. Oh, really? You've had some power outages there or something? Keeping the big companies running. Ah, right, yeah. Cool. Well, you know, soldier on, good sir. That's good work you're doing. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Kai. Back in my VR chat days, we go around as Ugandan Knuckles. Yeah. That was the thing, wasn't it? As soon as it literally took him a day for like, okay, I'm going to download an avatar of Ugandan Knuckles and then run up to people and say, do you know the way, brother? How about me? I'm doing good, thank you very much. Still plodding on, you know, keeping sensible. I went out to the supermarket this morning and had to queue up a little bit to get in, but that was because the shop hadn't opened yet and everybody's showing up at once. But it wasn't very busy in there. Most of the stuff I wanted was available. The only thing I can't get is bread flour, and there were almost no eggs. Those were the only things I needed. So yeah, Chassis, hello, welcome back. Must have been an experience on its own, yeah. Parents don't return calls. No! I know, right? Then you start worrying like, oh god, oh god, oh god. Well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted, and then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is, Ms. Andrews, your testimony just now was all one giant lie. Oh, smash, there go the glasses. Naylor, objection! Objection sustained for 5 bits, thank you very much. You've left voicemails and text messages, oh my goodness. And they'll be like, oh, we were going to get back to you later on, it's fine. How are you, Naylor? Good to see you. Your dad brought back a 2-pack of eggs? Oh, you mean like 2 packs with like a dozen eggs in or something? Yeah, I mean here, there were virtually none at my supermarket, which is very weird. So, yeah. I didn't think eggs would be something that would be bought out like that, because they don't keep for long. So, you know, I mean, what can you don't really freeze eggs, do you? So how can you keep them? And your lie has proven one thing very clear. Everyone wants them omelettes, I know, right? Quarantine omelettes. That you are the real killer. No! It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. We did that ages ago and we had to jump through hoops. Christ. We ripped her whole testimony apart earlier and she was like, well, I'm not going to testify anymore because I can't incriminate myself. And it's like, we just incriminated you, so what? 30 eggs per pack? Wow. Damn. That's a lot of eggs. Just working on some stuff behind the scenes and all. Got stuff rolling out soon. TM? Ah, cool. Any bigger plans or schedule changes for the pandemic to stay sane? Other than the fact I'm waiting for the weather to clear up here because it's grey and drizzly outside. It's been overcast and cool. But next week's going to get warmer and I'll finally start going back out because I'm exercising from home right now rather than going to the gym. And then I'll be going to like the country parks near here and taking walks in some fresh air, you know. So other than that, Yeah, I don't have any big plans, because this hasn't really changed my lifestyle much. All it's done is made it so that the option to go out is now gone as a casual, like, oh, I'll go for a, you know, I'll go to the mall or something and just have a wander, and then maybe get sushi and then come home. Can't do that anymore, so, yeah. That's pretty much all it is. It hasn't changed much beyond that. But it does add a little stress, and a little bit of stir-crazy kicks in, so today was the first time I've been out in a while. Quite a long time. Yeah. The defendant, Mr. Matt on guard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Ms. Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you are the one who refuses to testify. And your reason for not doing so is that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because it's a double-edged sword if you're going to invoke that clause. Come on. Ms. Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. There's no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt Unguard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. Yeah, that's the weird thing here. And now I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt Ongard. Phoenix is... Oh, wait, what? Your Honor? I was actually expecting that to be Phoenix and be like, wait, I might have made a mistake. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. Oh, what? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. Edgeworth, I don't get you today, dude. What are you doing? You're flailing around a lot. The absolute real truth? What are you... Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt Ungard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? Yeah, Edgeworth is a Magikarp. I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. Wait, what? What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma. Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then, right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss Von Karma. Don't say a word no matter what happens. If you do, Matt Ungard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now, and is clinging to them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? I mean, she might not be. This might be one of those whole, like, Matt's not the killer, but she's not either. And the fact that we were told to bust through this whole fake, you know, planting of evidence stuff, that maybe there was enough subtlety in the planting of evidence to be like, so if we see through that, the next person we see is her, but if we look deeper, we'll see something else. Lurking for a moment, speak to each other again, well, no problem, yeah, you lurk away, Eriador. I'll try and pop into your streams as much as I can as well and say hi every now and then. I just come to think of it, I haven't really watched very many other people's streams lately, so yeah, we'll definitely, we'll chat later. Keep safe, buddy. All we have to do now is get our not guilty. That's my only priority. Yeah, because we need to make sure Matt is not guilty, because then we can get Maya safe, you know? It wasn't me, I'm begging you, please believe me, I didn't kill Juan. Help, please. Someone help me. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? The court can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. Anyone for a black coffee? I have had my coffee for today, thank you very much. Cool down, Mel. Love to have you around. No problem. We'll definitely stop by. But Chassis, those emotes. He likes them. That's it. Yeah, we do all struggle to find. That's the problem with being a streamer, is you can't really watch many other streams because you're too busy streaming. Love the emotes. I know, they're so good. I've got 10 of them, just, you know, more waiting to get deployed here. Oh my god, there's a modification for that, where he's doing the whole thinking. That's cool. Been loving the streams for 2 years now. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. What I intend to do, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right, I suggest you think carefully about this. That means save the game. For no other reason than just to do it, because you never know, the power might go out and I'll lose progress. Yeah, and that's it, right? Save the game. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. Send me a DM, can I check it after the stream? Yeah, certainly I will. I'll get back to you after the stream. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying right over there, right? Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? So what did she do and what did she not do? Well, obviously then we have to force her to testify, because what she did not do was testify about the extra things between her and Juan. And we know what it is. We know what it is. We know it's going to be something about Celeste impacts, a missing suicide note, the whole reason she got close to Juan. She told us this before the trial, but now she's dodging it on the trial. Gonna look, oh, you'll never leave. Whole court thing is getting edgy. It's edgy like Edgeworth, yo. Thank you very much, Erido. Have fun, dude. Talk to you later. Right, force her to testify. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making that face. Thank you. Ms. Andrews, I would like to know what you were really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. On Guard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet, how dare you? You're trying to trick me. Like, you're already going to get declared guilty. You've got nothing to lose. Get on with it. Get that acquittal. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. Huh? I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However... Oh, he's going to... Because he's the one that showed us this, right? We got these from Edgeworth. The suicide report for Celeste Impacts and Adrian Andrews' own attempted suicide report as well, shortly afterwards. And the fact that Juan Corridor is suspected of hiding Celeste Impacts' suicide note. He gave us this, so he knows this. He's going to bring it up himself and be like, okay, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to spill the beans. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Ms. Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Like, yeah, you can choose not to say it, but we'll show it if you don't. Yeah, spill all the beans. And then clean up after yourself, because beans, you know, they just get everywhere. Pick them all back up afterwards. Mr. Edgeworth? Wow, this music. Yeah. I like the music for this game, it's so good. I'm gonna have to see if I can get the soundtrack for this. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop, please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. Ah, that's the second part of the suicide report. Or the attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. Edgeworth, dude, dial it down just a bit. The secret of her dependent nature, having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please, please stop, I beg you. If people find out, I'll... If you're going to say that you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. Whoa, Edgeworth. That's it, yeah, get that squid dancing. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? It is, it's good music. This is like boss fight music from like old 8-bit games, it's great. However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. Damn, Edgeworth's savage today. No matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself or shall I? Either is fine with me. Luigi! My gods. You still lurking, I see. That music's so good though. I'll talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. My crime. I know, this case is really good, I'm enjoying it. I like all the cases in this game so far, in the second game. The first one, most of the cases were good. There was maybe one that was a bit irritating, and I've forgotten about it now, so I don't really care. But this one's really good. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room, and then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. That's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. A bit of an inconvenience. That would be Lotta loitering around with the bloody camera, right? Stab the body with the knife? Why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all of this? I wonder if maybe she just really doesn't like working for Matt because he's so weak-willed himself. He has no, like, free will of his own. He talks to everybody on that little bloody communicator before he makes a decision. So maybe she's like, I need somebody stronger. What do you mean by all of this? Yeah, Matt, you're a fucking idiot. Exactly. That's what she's thinking, is like, God, I hate working for this guy so much. It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. Really? He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. What? Nani? Last time? So Ms. Andrews stabbed the victim one corridor in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt Ungard for the murder. And this is her crime. Yeah, burn the witch! How dare she? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Ms. Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? So there was planting of evidence, but it was done to point to the guilty party? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. I don't like where this is heading. What happens with Maya?